Hey traders, let's have a look at monthly time frame. So I chose the monthly time frame to basically explain what's going on with gold and what kind of moves we can have the next couple of days or in the next couple of weeks. So on the monthly time, it's very clear that the market had reached a strong resistance area over here, started to make basically lower highs on the monthly time frame, which means that the market was definitely bearish. That's why we had this nice big impulse to the downside and followed by another impulse to the downside, which created this low over here on gold. Now, what we have over here, this movement that is going to the upside is basically a retest of the last support broken now would be turned resistance. So the last support broken and turned resistance would be in this area over here. So as you can see in this area over here, we have a very, very strong resistance area. So this area before on the monthly was nice support. We have nice support again, and we also have here, and now we can expect a very strong resistance area. And you can basically see on the monthly time frame that it has rejected this area very, very aggressively. Now let's go down on to weekly time frame where I will show you guys exactly what I mean. So on the weekly time frame, you guys would be able to see that basically what on gold, let me make this clean up our chart. So basically what we have on gold is we had this area over here, which was the last strong resistance area, and after it started to create lower highs on the weekly time frame. So lower highs normally means that the market is getting ready for a push and the environment of the market has changed. Also, the structure of the market has changed as well. So on the weekly time frame, you can see that the market has a very, very nice impulse to the downside, followed by this correction over here. So normally in trading, the market would make an impulse to the downside, then it will be followed by a retracement or a correction, and then further continuation to the downside. Basically, this is what gold is doing on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we can expect gold to move down to the downside. So my original target is around this area over here. So why do I choose this area over here? Because we have very, very strong support in this area. As you can see, there's nice long wicks here. So it's a basic demand and supply zone for gold on the weekly time frame. And we can expect the market to come back here so that banks and hedge funds can basically get into the market again. Now, what I've seen on gold as well is gold is basically banks, hedge funds, and institutions basically reducing their long positions or their buy positions on gold at the moment. So we've had a big drop of positions from banks and institutions. They are dropping their long positions, starting to add short positions to the market at the moment. Now, if you guys have a look on the weekly time frame, you can see that had this nice impulse to the downside, followed by this kind of correction here. So this kind of correction is very, very simple and it's very, very easy to see because why? The market always needs to test this last area of support, which was over here. We had very good support around this area, and now we have very good resistance and strong resistance in this area over here. So what we can find basically with gold is what we're looking for is a push to the downside to my given target. But before we can reach to that target, we have to look on the 4-hour time frame, the 1-day time frame, in order to see what kind of price action we're getting on the 1-day time frame. So let's have a look at the 1-day, and we can automatically see that this pair is not ready for a move to the downside yet. Because why? The market created a low here, it then started to create higher lows, higher low again, and then we have on the top side we have a higher high, another higher high, another higher high, and another higher high. So basically what it is that gold is that previous area, strong area of resistance and support on the weekly time frame that I showed you guys earlier. So basically what we are looking at is we are waiting for gold for a good push. But before we can do that, we have a very, very nice counter trend line over here at the moment. So this counter trend line is called a counter trend line because we know that the market is going to be a market. Why it's going to be a bearish market? Because, like I've said before, very, very good confidence that the market is making these lower highs each time the market does a retracement or correction. So we are expecting the market to basically break out from here and do a retest of this trend line, counter trend line, and then move to the downside. But what we also have on top of this move on gold is basically we have a basically a good channel, good bullish channel that we're running in at the moment. So basically the market is respecting both the trend line and trend line on top. So what we can expect from gold in the next couple of days or in the next week is gold to retest that strong area of resistance or strong area of support. Then we would basically be looking on the 4-hour time frame in order for us to get a good push to the downside. Now it's a little bit of a risky trade if you take this pair in this zone, in this channel over here, because we have a counter trend line at the bottom, but it's up to you guys if you'd like to trade it. Now if I was you guys, I would rather wait for a good break of this structure and counter trend line over here. Then you'll wait on the 4-hour time frame to look for a retest of this area. Once you have a retest of this area, then you can look on the 4-hour time frame, and basically you'll be looking at a short position on this counter trend line around here. So it's up to you guys if you would like to take a riskier trade and trade inside this channel over here in this area around here, or you would rather take a low risk trade and wait for gold to basically break this channel and basically do a retest of this area and then take the trade. So I have my target already at the bottom here is 1417, and this is where I would like to see gold reach within the end of this month, because this is my monthly target. Now if you have a look on the monthly time frame, you can basically see that this monthly candle is basically trading above the last week's high, and you can basically what you want to see is you want to see this candle close below last month's high. So something like, if you have a look at this over here, you can see that the market is trading now above this level over here, above last month's low. So we have still a lot of days in this market in order for us to get a good entry on gold, and this is basically what I expect from gold on the monthly time frame and also on the weekly time frame. So if you guys like this analysis, don't forget to leave me a like and a comment at the bottom here, so that we can have a good trade together, and also maybe make sure that you guys learn from this kind of environment and this kind of market, because it's very important for you guys to basically learn from this. This is a very, very good pair to work with, because it is a very, very nice moving pair. It moves very fast and it moves very, very, very nicely. So it's up to you guys if you'd like to take a low risk trade or a high risk trade. So basically option number one again is we're looking for a push to the downside from this area of strong resistance now, or you can wait for a low risk trade to wait for a break of this counter trend line and then take this pair to the downside to my given target. Guys, don't forget to give me a like and give me a comment and let me know what you guys think about this pair, and let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to follow my profile as well, because I will be uploading some more videos for you guys as well. Thank you. Have a lovely evening.